This is a little video to show you what the Trader tool suite will do. Let me ask you a question. If you're looking at this chart, and let's say you get a signal right here, do you know the probability that your trade is going to be a winner or a loser, regardless of if you want to sell it or buy it? How many times in the past has that particular signal won or lost in the past? Let me show you something neat. We're going to go up here and choose the Euro US dollar. This is the most highly traded currency pair that there is. And let's go down here into the Trader tool suite, which are these indicators right here, and place something on the chart. Let's choose RSI. Now maybe you don't trade RSI, maybe you do. But that's not the point. The point is we're going to know the probability. Now we're going to place this on our MT4. We're going to leave the RSI at 14, the overbought and oversold levels at 70. We only want to see what's going to happen, let's say over the next hour. We're going to change this to an hour chart. Right here it's a one bar, what they call expiry. This is useful in binary options, but also can be used in forex. I will show you that here in just a minute. Let's just press OK. We're going to go to an hourly chart. Now look, I know right now that whenever I get a signal, I know exactly what my probabilities are going to be over the past 50 trades. I know, for instance, that if I get a signal to sell this right here as price comes down below the overbought level, I know that, let's see, only 6% of the time is it going to move down to this level right here. Now, these little levels are 5 pip intervals, or 5 pips wide. So to move all the way down to and close below the last level, it's going to have to move about 15 pips. We'll open this up so you can see it a little bit more. But what if I want to know how often it just touches that level? Well, I can go in here and I can change the tool here. Instead of using an expiry, because this will show how often it closes outside of a level, I can use a touch mode. Now it will show me how often it touches that level. I know that on this particular signal, when the signal comes, I know it's going to touch this level down here 12% of the time. This is not a very good signal. Let's go in here and try to make this signal have some good properties that maybe we want to trade from. Just by changing a few of the parameters, I can see that now I know that whenever a signal comes, it's going to hit what's called the OTM, or out of the money line, 54% of the time. So it's going to hit this outer line if I get a down signal, or this yellow line if I get an up signal, 54% of the time. 77% of the time, it's going to hit this line right here, or if I get an up signal, this line right here. This is for 5 hours out. If I want to go and look, let's say it's going to be a 24-hour trade. I know that 87% of the time it is going to hit this line just as soon as that signal comes out. Signal's going to come out at the beginning of a bar, so it's not mid-range. So 87% of the time it hits here. 12% of the time it does not. What if I want to know how often it hits that line and then bounces off and reverses up? I can go into the indicator here. Touch and retrace. Now I know that 55.56% of the time, if we get a signal and it touches this line, it's going to bounce and close above that line by what's called expiry, or the end of the signal. This is a 24-hour trade. If we want to see how often it does it within the hour, for, let's say, binary options. We'll go with a 1 hour expiry. Now I know that if it comes down to touch the bottom line, 28% of the time it's going to close back up above that line, and 71% of the time it's going to close below that line. So let me ask you this. For a binary option trade, if you got this signal and price came down here to touch this, would that be a good indication to sell an at-the-money binary or buy a put right there? Possibly so. What if I don't want to take a trade as price comes back, from the overbought level back into normal range? What if I want to take the trade as price is going out of the from the normal range into the overbought level? I can go down here, cross into the overbought oversold level, now we have a totally different signal. Now it's going to give us a signal just as soon as price crosses up into the overbought or oversold level and closes. On the very next bar, it's going to give a signal. It's going to tell you the percentage of the time that price will touch a specific strike level for binaries or price level for forex. I know that 50% of the time it's going to come up here and at least touch this area. I know that 63% of the time within the hour it's going to touch this area. 70% of the time within the hour it's going to touch this area. 93% of the time within the hour it's going to touch this area. I now have it set for touch and reverse. I know that if it goes up to this area right here, between 66 and 73% of the time it's going to totally reverse and drop down to expire or close below these areas within the hour. So if it gets up into this range, between 66 to 73% of the time, it's going to close below there within the hour. What if I want to check out, let's say, 10 hours out? "10 hours out, if it gets up here, it doesn't have as high a probability, because a lot of times when RSI is moving up and it gets up into the overbought area, it's a trend that goes. This one did, but most of the time they do not, based upon those settings. What if you're a trend follower and you want to trade the Wall Street 30? Some people call it the Wall Street 30, some people call it the Dow Jones 30. No matter what you call it, it's the same thing. Whether you're trading spreads or binaries, how often does it touch within a few hours? Let's see. How many hours are we looking at? We're looking at a 5-minute chart, which is about 6 hours out. So this is a trend following setting based upon our trend arrows. Let's just go look. We have a signal here. It went to touch the last level. Signal here went to touch the level. Signal here went to touch the level. Signal here went to touch the level. And all these are before expiry. Touched the level. It touched the level. Looks like it touched the level here and here. It didn't touch the level here, but as with trend following, after a pullback, it went right back down and touched the level. Here's one that it did not. There's a price spike, whatever news, maybe. It did not touch the level. Oh, hang on. Most of these do. Where am I at here? There we are. That touched the level, that touched the level, that touched the level, that touched the level, that touched the level. And, so they work. That touched the level, that touched the level, that touched the level. More often than not, they will touch those levels before expiry. Maybe you like Bollinger Bands. If you like Bollinger Bands, you can see right here that, especially for binary options, if you're taking an at-the-money trade, well, an out-of-the-money trade finishes profitable 60% of the time. Even an out-of-the-money trade, quite a ways out finishes 52% of the time. And an out-of-the-money trade, even farther out, finishes 50% of the time profitable. Now, I'm not talking about the unregulated overseas binaries. I'm talking about Nadex and Cantor Exchange. You can buy out of the monies for cheaper than 50, and the payout is more than 50. So that's really good there. This is oil. I'm looking at oil. So if you like oil, there you go. This is the Bollinger Bands. What if you are a 5-minute scalper? Let me choose something different than oil. Let's go up here to Euro US dollar. Okay, Euro US dollar, 5 pips wide on a 5-minute binary is a little too wide. We'll drop down here and change the interval. We'll do 3. All right. Now I can see right now that the at the money does not have a great win rate. I do, however, see that 3 pips in the money has a 90% win rate. So for instance, if I got a signal right here, I know that it has a 90% probability of closing above this line. I also know that it has a 90% probability of closing below this line within the 5-minute period, or the 5-minute binary. However, now that I've reversed the signals, I've got a 60-40 win rate. 60% of the time an at-the-money binary closes profitable, and 40% of the time it does not. It has affected my in-the-money and out-of-the-money rates a little bit due to the bid-ask spread. That's always taken into consideration. But 60% of the time, and a true at-the-money binary, meaning when this bar opens, it has a 60% probability of closing profitable. This one did not, and this one did not. There has been 4 losses in a row over the past 50 trades. There's been 5 wins in a row over the past 50 trades. So you can go, the signals come out at the open of the bar, not in the middle, not at the, this bar will close and then this bar will open. It'll come out at the open of the bar. What if you like MACD? If you like MACD, you can put it on here and see what the probabilities are. I know that the probability on just the settings that I have it on, which are not much, probabilities of it closing out of the money, first level out of the money is 50%. Closing 4th level in the money is 87%. Let me look here. Here's some signals. They're too small to see. There we go. There we go. This right here closed. This right here closed below the. Closed below the out of the money level 4 down here. It only does it 22% of the time, but that binary would be very cheap to buy. So it moved on down from there. This one, it did not close below here. However, it did not close above here. It's got a 92% probability of not closing above this level if you're buying a binary. Let's look at this for forex. How can we utilize this in forex? We're going to be talking about trend following here for just a minute. Now I want to take all of these probabilities and I'm going to move them off of the screen because I want to show you something. I'm going to ask a question and I want you to be very honest with yourself. How many times have you got into a trade and it didn't go your direction and you held on to that thing for 3 days and it still never came back? And you did it over and over and these trades never come back. Now watch this. on forex. Let's take the euro US dollar for example. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Let me make the signal a little bit bigger. This is trend following. Now, if you don't win, you get out at your stop loss. But look, right here, it hit, these are 20 pips wide, so that's 20, 40, 65 pips that it gave you before it turned right back around. Here, you lost 65 pips. Here you made 65 pips. Here you lost 65 pips. Here you made 65 pips. Uh-oh. There we go. You made 65 pips. 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 I can't see that. Hang on. Don't know if it stopped you out or not, but let's say you lost 65 pips. And here you lost 65 pips. Here you made 65 pips. This is a really simple made 65 pips. Lost 65 pips. It's really simple to do, but how often does it do it? How often does it hit the, out of the money area there? Has a 78% probability of hitting there within 3 days. That's hourly time frame. Set on 72 bars from now. 78% probability of hitting there. Now forget about the probabilities for a minute. Let's just look and see how many trends are produced here. Let's say, okay, you see this one right here? Let's say your stop loss is right down here. Get into this trade and you want to hold on to it. Well, how far did it move? Moved up initially 65, then 199 or 194. Then it moved up 303 without hitting your stop. And when you finally got a reverse signal, it was still up 140 whatever. Then you lost 65 pips here and lost 65 pips here. Same with this. How far did this one move? 377. Can you pull any pips out of that? Stop out here. How far did this one move? 187. How far did this one move? 611. Sometimes trends are just, massive. 500 and almost 600 pips. Well, you got stopped out here, but if you're hedging with a binary or something, maybe you can take care of some of those stop outs, but they work. They work. Okay, here's a couple of different ones as well. This one here took a massive drawdown, and then it went, where'd it go? $600 pips in your direction. This in here, it right here. It took 500 pip drawdown. This one went 600 pips in your direction. The very next one, oh my goodness, went down. It's 2,500 pips. So these are trend following for forex. Here's the Euro USD. Here is a signal if you like a lot. We are on a 1 hour time frame. On a 1 hour time frame has a 76% probability of moving up by 3 pips and has a 50% probability of moving up by 6 pips on this one. A lot more signals, lower win rate. So you can see right now, if there is a 50% probability that it is going to touch this level right here, can you buy that for less than 50? Yes, you can. We've got about 30 minutes left in the hour. So the probability is 50 of touching. Now let's check on expires. Okay, now has a 52% win rate expiry at the money, which means where the signal comes out. Let's see. They are 3 pips wide, so that means 3, 6, 9, 12 has a 90% probability if you're going to do a an in the money trade, has a 90% probability of not closing below this area right here, which is 113.91. 90% probability that it will not close down there. It has won that type of trade 37 times in a row and is not lost twice in a row. So that's that. Here is a loss right here. Here's one of the losers that counts against your your 90% win rate. But if you look at all of the others, here's one that lost as well. There's one. There's one. This one expired profitable. This one was a loss. This one expired profitable, expired below here. This one is a loss. This one expired profitable, expired profitable. All these expired profitable. Now, whether you can get a price 12 pips out, I don't know. But let's change pips. Let's go with just a normal 5 pip intervals. With 5 pips, there is a 94% probability that it's not going to close above here for an in the money trade. Now, it won this one, won this one. You know, it's in a downtrend. Don't try to buy it in a downtrend. I mean, of course. But these are TraderBot marketplace tools. They can help you with all kinds of probabilities. We've got the bar run, Bollinger Bands, CCI, Heikin-Ashi, high fives, Ichimoku, MACD, moving averages, our trend arrows, rate of change, RSI, stochastic, and I'm coming out with a correlation one, but that one's not out yet. We also have the watermark, which is not out yet, and the local time generator, which is free at TraderBotMarketplace.com. So that's that. That's the trader tools that we offer, and they are just flat out fantastic. Go to TraderBot Marketplace, check them out. Thank you. Bye-bye.